Step out of the car. Show me your ID.
I can, but you should know who I am.
I don't care. Hands visible now.
You cooperate. Are you detaining me?
You're under arrest. Don't move.
You just arrested a federal agent. Do you know what you've done?
It all started with what should have been a simple stop for gas, but nothing about this morning would be simple. Rachel Morrison, 34, had been on the job with the ATF for nearly a decade. She was calm, confident, and meticulous, a professional who had seen her share of danger, but nothing could have prepared her for a rookie officer's overreach. The gas station's fluorescent lights flickered slightly, reflecting off her black SUV as she finished paying. She glanced at her watch. 10 minutes until her next assignment. Routine, predictable, safe. But then Tyler Grant, 25, a newly sworn Arlington police officer, approached. His posture was stiff, eyes scanning with intensity that seemed misplaced. Rachel noticed him instantly. Something in his body language felt off. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said, voice firm. "Step out of your vehicle." Rachel's brow furrowed. "I'm a federal agent on duty," she replied, showing her ATF badge. "I'm just here to fuel up." But Tyler interrupted, insisting on running a traffic check. His words were clipped, sharp, and the weight of his uniform seemed heavier than the law warranted. Witnesses later described a palpable unease, a sense that the situation was spiraling even before it had truly begun. Rachel's voice remained steady, but inside, a knot of disbelief was forming. Around them, the morning bustle slowed. A clerk leaned over the counter, muttering, "This doesn't look right." 2 other drivers paused, cameras discreetly recording the unfolding scene. Tyler's rookie overconfidence clashed with Rachel's calm authority, a mismatch that grew more volatile with every passing second. Tension escalated further when Rachel tried reasoning, citing federal authority and her ongoing duty assignment. Tyler's insistence hardened. "You need to comply," he said, the words echoing in the emptying parking lot. The contradiction was stark, a rookie officer enforcing compliance on a trained federal investigator. Rachel's anxiety and frustration bubbled beneath the surface. Her calm, normally her strongest asset, was being tested in a public spectacle. By now, bystanders whispered, cameras filmed, and the situation teetered on the edge. She knew she was being treated unfairly, but in the moment, options were limited. Resistance could escalate things physically. Compliance could be humiliating. Then, without warning, Tyler reached for handcuffs. The glint of metal and sunlight froze the scene. Rachel's hands lifted instinctively, not in aggression, but in sheer disbelief. The bystanders' murmurs turned to audible gasps. Everyone in the lot, even the morning commuters, sensed the absurdity and danger of what was about to unfold. The chapter ends with the camera closing in on Rachel's stunned expression, Tyler's hand hovering over the handcuffs, and the narration, "No one could believe what was happening. How could a rookie cop attempt to arrest an ATF agent in broad daylight?" In an instant, a routine morning stop became a confrontation that no one could have imagined. Rachel Morrison's heart raced as Officer Tyler Grant's hand hovered over the handcuffs. Every training scenario she had endured flashed through her mind, but nothing had prepared her for this surreal moment in the middle of a quiet Arlington gas station. The bystanders' murmurs grew louder, cameras capturing each second, while the hum of pumps became almost deafening. "Sir, you can't do this," Rachel said firmly, holding up her ATF badge again. "I'm on official duty. I have federal authority." Tyler's response was curt, almost rehearsed. "Compliance is mandatory. Step out of the vehicle." Rachel froze. She could not and would not submit to an unlawful arrest, but the rookie officer's inexperience made him unpredictable. The tension crackled like electricity in the air. She knew a single wrong move could escalate into a physical struggle, and with witnesses around, the optics alone could ruin both careers. Nearby, gas station clerk Maria Torres, 28, stepped forward cautiously. "Officer, maybe you should check her credentials," she said, voice shaky. "She's clearly federal." But Tyler waved her off, convinced of his authority. He called for backup, further escalating the situation. Rachel realized that de-escalation was failing. The humiliation of being restrained, treated like a criminal in front of civilians, burned deep. She had faced dangerous criminals in high-risk raids, but being overpowered by a rookie overconfident was a new kind of fear. Rachel's aide, Jordan Miles, 29, arrived moments later carrying her work briefcase. "This isn't right. She's on duty," Jordan pleaded, trying to reason with Tyler. But the officer's rigid mindset and insistence on procedure, despite the obvious contradictions, created a standoff that drew every eye in the gas station. Customers filmed on their phones, some shaking their heads, others whispering in disbelief. Then came the turning point. Tyler attempted to forcibly remove Rachel from her vehicle, ignoring her physical positioning and professional explanation. Rachel instinctively resisted, not with aggression, but with sheer determination to protect herself and assert her rights. The struggle was brief but tense, amplified by the cameras and growing crowd. Emotional stakes surged. Fear, humiliation, and adrenaline collided, while social stakes mounted as whispers turned to shouts. The situation teetered between law enforcement procedure and outright misconduct. Jordan called out, "You're making a huge mistake," but Tyler's inexperience and overzealous need to prove himself blinded him to reality. The chapter closes with Rachel seated in her SUV, Tyler standing over her with the handcuffs ready, the crowd holding its breath, and the narration. At that moment, no one could predict how this confrontation would end, or the legal storm that was about to follow. The situation had spiraled out of control. A routine morning stop at a gas station had become a spectacle that would be remembered for years. By now, Rachel Morrison, 34, was fully aware that she was in an unprecedented scenario. Officer Tyler Grant, 25, continued to assert his authority, handcuffs in hand, seemingly oblivious to the reality of her federal status. Every second felt heavier as the standoff intensified under the bright morning sun. The crowd had grown, with drivers slowing down, cameras rolling, and whispers of disbelief filling the air. Rachel's mind raced. Her professional composure was being tested like never before. She had to remain calm for herself and for the integrity of her agency. "I'm a federal agent. You're committing misconduct," she stated clearly, her voice firm but edged with controlled frustration. Tyler's jaw tightened, eyes darting to the cameras now capturing every movement, yet he remained unyielding. Then the unexpected happened. Backup arrived, not from the police, but from ATF colleagues responding to an alert. Two agents, Emily Vargas, 32, and Mark Hensley, 36, approached cautiously, assessing the situation. Tyler's confidence faltered slightly. He was no longer the only figure of authority on the scene. The tension skyrocketed as Rachel's ATF badge was verified, her credentials confirmed in real time. The bystanders began murmuring louder, some recording and sharing the incident on social media. The optics were disastrous for Tyler, whose rookie mistakes were now being exposed publicly. Rachel's calm authority contrasted sharply with his overzealous aggression, creating an undeniable narrative of misconduct. Meanwhile, the gas station manager attempted to mediate, pleading for the situation to be de-escalated, but Tyler hesitated, unwilling to acknowledge his error in front of witnesses. Rachel realized that this confrontation would not end quietly. The event had legal ramifications written all over it. As the ATF agents intervened, Tyler reluctantly stepped back, but the emotional damage was done. Rachel's face revealed a mixture of relief and lingering frustration. She had maintained her composure, but the public humiliation and potential danger were unforgettable. The scene was chaotic, every frame captured, ready to fuel investigations and discussions far beyond this small gas station. The chapter closes with the narration, "The confrontation was over, but the fallout had only begun." Questions about misconduct, accountability, and justice loomed large, and what happened next would shock the nation, leading to a payout no one saw coming. The gas station confrontation didn't just make headlines, it forced a reckoning within law enforcement itself. Following the viral footage, investigations began immediately. Officer Tyler Grant, 25, faced internal reviews from the Arlington Police Department, while federal oversight confirmed Rachel Morrison's credentials and duty status. The evidence was clear. The rookie cop had acted outside his authority, misinterpreting a routine situation as a violation requiring arrest. Every detail from the gas station cameras, witness testimonies, and ATF reports painted a stark picture of misconduct. Legally, the case moved swiftly. Rachel filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city and Tyler's department. The courts reviewed each piece of evidence: video footage, ATF confirmation of her duty, witness statements, and Tyler's own admission of overreach. After months of legal deliberation, the outcome was decisive: a $2.7 million settlement awarded to Rachel Morrison. The payout recognized the emotional distress, professional humiliation, and civil rights violations she endured. Emotionally, the resolution brought a profound sense of relief and validation. Rachel described the ordeal as surreal and exhausting, yet empowering. She had confronted not criminals, but the very system meant to protect her, and emerged vindicated. Her colleagues, family, and the public celebrated her resilience. The ATF formally commended her composure and professionalism, reinforcing her reputation as a capable, unshakable investigator. Consequences extended beyond Rachel. Tyler Grant faced disciplinary action, including mandatory retraining and probation. His career trajectory was permanently altered, serving as a cautionary tale for other officers about the dangers of overreach and inexperience. Arlington Police Department revised its training protocols, emphasizing verification and de-escalation, especially when interacting with federal personnel. Public awareness grew, with community advocates calling for accountability and proper policing standards. The final resolution also brought personal closure. Rachel returned to her field assignments with renewed confidence, her reputation intact, and her authority unquestioned. The gas station, once a site of humiliation, became a symbol of triumph over misconduct. Every witness who saw the incident unfold carried with them a reminder of justice and the importance of accountability in law enforcement. Closing narration. Rachel Morrison proved that courage isn't just for facing criminals, it's for standing up when the system itself falters. Justice was served, accountability ensured, and a $2.7 million verdict reminded everyone that no one is above the law. For Rachel, the ordeal ended not in fear or defeat, but in vindication, respect, and the affirmation that integrity always matters. Fade out on Rachel standing beside her black SUV, her ATF badge glinting in the morning sun, a sense of closure and empowerment radiating from her determined gaze.